I get to a longer club, all of a sudden I can't quite get the L to happen on the follow through. Is there any drills or anything I can do? This is typical of almost everybody. Now I struggle more with it when I try to do it left-handed than I do right-handed. For me to go L to L, I mean, that's so easy to do. I mean, I'm not going to not get there regardless of how fast I'm trying to swing. And the biggest reason is because no matter what club I have in my hands, so if I take my driver out, when I swing it, as I'm swinging, the momentum of the club is taken off. My shoulders aren't pulling the club through. So I'm letting my shoulders start the club, but then the club moves and my arms are going significantly faster, and the weight of the club and me pushing back straightens my arms and then rehinges my wrists. So it's really easy for me to do that. When I go around left-handed and I try to swing harder, like the rest of you, faster, I hate the word harder, I tend to start pulling it with my shoulders. Now if you get this club or any longer club and all of a sudden you give it a little extra effort in your shoulders, see, now you hit the ball and now it takes a lot longer for your wrist to hinge. So the longer the club gets, the less you want to feel like you're pulling with your shoulders. And when you get this club, everybody gets here and they want to hit it, so they do that. And when you do this, by the time the club catches up in your wrist hinge, it's way too late. So you want to start out with your driver or whatever club you're going to hit, and you want to stand there and almost feel like you're staying here and you feel like this is happening. And then you let your body go with it. So if I do that really slow, then I let the club then pull my arms through, it's easy for me to get that L. So the reason a lot of you break down on either side is because you get a longer club, you want it to go further. How do you try to create speed? With this. And as soon as this goes, then by the time you hit the ball and you can get your wrist to hinge, it's way too late. So it all comes back to how and when this pivot works. And the pivot is relative to where it starts pivoting right in here. Now if all of a sudden my shoulders pull and I don't start pivoting until I'm here, there's no way to get the L to work. So it's about the pivot point and what your shoulders do to try to create speed. If your shoulders try to pull to create more speed, then by the time you get your wrist to hinge, you're way past that L. So slow this down and let the weight of the club do it for you. And start really slow. So if I'm going to do it right-handed, if I'm going to do the L to L with my driver, I'm not going to swing hard. See, I'm going to stand here and swing really easy, let the weight of the club make my wrist hinge, unhinge, and rehinge. See, that's the club that's the easiest for me to do the L to L on. Why? Because the driver, even though it's the lightest club, is on the biggest arc, creates the most force, which the club feels heavier. So it's really easy for me to get the driver to do that. This is the easiest club for me to do it with, because I'm not trying to do it by pulling with my shoulders and then try to make my hands work. See, that's out of sync. And that's where most of you go when you try to create speed, is you try to do it by unwinding as hard as you can. That drives me crazy when I hear that, because most people aren't good enough with their hands to catch the club up with how fast their body starts to unwind. So then you start early, then you stop, and all kinds of things break down. So get the club going, get those two L's working, set up to the ball, start really soft, and then gradually build the speed.